episode number 77 with Mike Sneideman. Welcome to the Heads Up Poker Podcast. This is Steve Barton.
And hey, Steve, this is Mike Sneideman.
Yes, falling back into our old routine. How the hell are you, dude? Just before you called, I was checking out your website, and I was watching those videos, the Rampage Diaries.
Yes.
That was classic. If you guys haven't seen them, go to YouTube, type in Rampage Diaries. It'll be the first ones that come up. And there's, how many of them are there? Half a dozen or so? Of,
I still have some video to look through. I could do that. I think I'm going to bring my my camera to Vegas and hopefully do a few.
Oh, nice. Oh, that'll be cool.
But Steve, just in case I'm too boring here, I brought on a special guest here to talk to you quickly.
Okay.
What's your name, sir?
Jonah.
My son, first of all here, Steve, I actually have someone to be angry with other than you here. My son refuses to wear a Rampage Poker t-shirt.
I want to be a critic to his Rampage Poker t-shirts because I just think it looks ridiculous. First of all, I would never wear them because, well, honestly, have you ever seen anyone wear a shirt with a picture of their dad playing poker on it? I mean, seriously, I've just never seen anyone do that.
I think that's pretty badass, Jonas. I'm looking at him right now. Okay, let's see. I see your iPhone 6K. That's pretty cool, actually. You should do it.
I actually think that the phone case idea is pretty cool, but still the same. I'm still criticizing it the same way I did the T-shirt.
Just not feeling it. Well, how would you? It says it's got a big yellow Rampage Poker on it, and then kind of a purple backdrop, and then you got a picture of Mike with his patented pro palm to the chin. Kind of looks like you're pondering at some flop or something.
Yeah.
How would you have it designed?
So I think, and basically he thinks that everybody loves it, when really no one even pays attention to it.
Give me the microphone, punk. We've had enough. Okay.
Okay.
Anyways, Jonah, you can go to bed now. You have not enriched the Steve Barton experience whatsoever. Anyways.
How the hell are you, man? It's been a while.
The kids are getting older now and being able to criticize his father, so.
Yes. Yeah. How you been, dude? It's been a little while. We've missed a couple of Wednesdays.
Yeah, that's true. We got to get back on that.
Yeah, I've been busy with Amazon. I just got a shipment out today. The last shipment for the next 6 weeks, and then I'm off to Panama. So I got that stuff in the mail. Today was the last day that I could do it.
I forget. This is your yearly seedy bachelor trip, although you're no longer bachelors.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yes, this time it'll be
Panama. Is this a different country for you?
It is. I've never been there. I know it has a canal of some sorts. It's kind of famous for something like that, but that's about all I know of it.
So you guys usually do a little mix. You do like a little ecotourism, get out in the country and see some stuff, but then you also go to the resortish kind of areas. Is that a thing?
No, we pretty much just kind of stick to the, we don't do hostels. We always have our own room. Every now and then you're forced to share it if they don't have enough rooms or something, but we always have our own room. And usually what we do is we try to rent an apartment. So we'll go somewhere where we really decide we want to spend a week or so here, and then we just look around and we find an apartment for a week, and sometimes we end up staying for 3 weeks or the whole trip, and other times we bounce in 2 days just because it's dull and not what we're looking for, and we just kind of fly by the seat of our pants.
Okay. Which part of Panama are you staying here?
We're flying into the capital, and then I have absolutely no idea where we're going after that. So.
Okay, so you don't have the apartment rented?
No, nothing. No, I don't even think we have a hotel yet for the first night. We should probably get one, but yeah. This is what I love about vacations. I don't have to plan shit. I just show up and then see what happens.
That's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, it should be fun.
And speaking of vacations, I refer to Vegas as work here just to convince myself that it's going to be profitable and to take the matter seriously. But Yeah,
It's when you're leaving in the next couple of days, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm leaving Monday morning.
Monday morning.
So
what day is today? Today's Friday. Okay, you're leaving Monday morning. Okay, nice.
So
nice.
I plan on popping out of bed at 5 a.m. and getting there so I can play. The Planet Hollywood has a $150K tournament, $600 entry.
Nice.
Because the Colossus doesn't even start till Thursday. So there's the Planet Hollywood one, and I think there's also a there's a Planet Hollywood. I think there's also a decent Venetian tournament. I don't know. I'd have to take a look. All I know is I can't wait to get there. And it doesn't quite have the. I don't know, Steve. I feel like I only do well in poker when I'm just emotionally, mentally desperate. But I'm actually in a pretty good state right here.
Oh, okay. That mean you're going to bagel everything in a week and be done? Or?
That's probably... You'll see me in a murderous rampage in 11 days whenever I'm... Well, you never know. What was I going to say? No, I mean, I don't know. I like my approach to getting there. It's not like... I don't do a lot of the meditation stuff that you do about, standing in front of a mirror and repeat certain things and all this stuff, but I feel like I'm... I have been listening to the Elliott Rowe, a couple of the tapes, and
good for you. Yeah.
And I just know I'm going to play good poker, and whether it's what I mean. And I've been watching a lot, not grinding too much online. I decided I was going to focus on watching a lot of live streams of tournaments. Last year's bracelet events and stuff, the final tables. So kind of get readjust to the live game's a little different than the online.
Yeah.
Where you're used to just pressing buttons kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Anyways, I like where I'm at.
Yeah. You've been playing a lot at the casino, huh?
Yeah, I've been playing a lot there.
Just cash? Or are you doing their tournaments? Their tournaments aren't that great there, are they?
No, those are pointless.
Yeah, okay.
No, I don't bother with those.
Yeah, that's the same way at my club.
So, although... I've been on a sick heater at the tournament, live cash. I've made almost like $12 an hour over my last 400 hours.
Oh shit! Wow, jeez,
I'm joking.
Moving right up.
that for me is mastery.
Just enough to pay for lunch for that day.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, but anyways, yeah, it's feeling. I feel like I'm almost breaking through where I can kind of do it. But these games are just like I said. I think the last time we got on. We talked a little bit about how those games are just hard to beat. Like a couple other top pros were telling me the same thing, so I don't feel so stupid.
Yeah. What are your average buy-ins, you think? Like 500 or?
The game I play in? Well, I'm talking. I mean, all the pros buy in for 1,500.
Oh, I thought you said it was $12 an hour for your live MTTs.
No. $12 an hour for
live cash.
My last 400 hours. Live MTTs. I've bricked 38 of the last 40 tournaments, and I wish I was making $11 an hour. But anyway, so Vegas, and then reevaluate in mid-July, I guess, see where I'm at. Come up with a plan. I think my plan will return to what it is now, which is pretty much grinding high volume MTTs online, and whether or not I need a second job or not, we'll have to see about that.
Yeah. Well, you haven't really needed one yet. Have you been Ubering at all, or not really?
I gave someone a ride the other day. Made $2.27 and then raced to the casino. I'm trying to do at least just one ride a week, just to just to see, just have a deposit from Uber just for.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. It comes and goes. So how about I didn't get any backing though, Steve.
No.
No, none. Not $0.00.
Oh, no shit. So you're on your own dime for this one?
I'm on my own dime.
Okay.
I won. I think we talked about. I won the bad beat jackpot for $12K.
Yeah.
So $12K is what my Vegas. This is what I told myself I'm spending in Vegas and no more.
Okay. Cool.
That can go pretty fast. I mean, I'm just looking at.
Well, you know what? You should be. Just take that and just grind man, I would string that out. I mean, you could make a whole month of that, just be playing $500 tournaments?
No.
No?
No, I got to play the Millionaire Maker, Steve. And those are, yeah, I mean, you're right, but, you're wrong, too, I think. The goal is not to, if my goal was to make $2,000 for the month, that's fine. But I still think I'm good enough to get a major cash.
Well, I guess what I mean is you could play 20 tournaments as opposed to 10.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right about that. I could bust this little roll pretty quickly here. I could play perfect poker and lose $12,000 in 8 days.
Yeah.
But I think there's just too much value in the Venetian 2 million and the Millie Maker and the Colossus. And there's so it's not like I got a lot of ridiculous. I think last year I played the 3K 6 max. You know what I mean? I won't be playing that unless I have another. So I think it's I'm
3K 6 max.
Yeah, I don't know. So and you decided pretty much like last time, I think I was trying to tell you to play the 600s, and you were like, no, I just want to play the deep stacks each day, and that's going to be what you're doing.
Yeah, last year I played a few of the 600s. I played a 1K, and because I was so limited on time. This time, I think, I might actually be in the same boat because I'm getting back from Panama June, kind of late-ish June, the 25th. And then I'm flying out to see my wife I'm going to kind of chase her around in the airplane. She's going to be on a trip, and we're going to go to Vegas and then, get there in the morning and then spend the night. And then she's going to be working as a flight attendant during this time, and then we'll fly up to Chicago and then spend the night. I've never been to Chicago, so that should be fun. And then I'm going to fly home, and then she's going to continue her trip that she has to do for work. And then after that, then I'm going to go out to the WSOP. So I'm probably not going to get out there until like July 1st, maybe the 30th.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Really cooking. Are you still going to, oh, you have no idea if you're going to be out there then, huh?
No, I will not be out there then. I'm going to be in Carolina for a family vacation, and I'll be returning on July 10th. If I have money to play the main event.
Play the main.
And then there's a couple other tournaments that I might return not to play the main. There's a 1.5 million at the Venetian, $1,100 buy-in, and there's a $750K at the Win for $1,600 buy-in.
Okay.
So I'll probably return then.
Yeah, I'll have more than a week. I have to be back to work, I think, the 9th. So I'll probably drive back home the 8th. Well, I'll have a little bit more than a week out there. But
we're going to miss each other then, Steve, I guess.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I'm going to miss you're going to try to do a meetup?
I think so. Together? I think we'll probably put something together over at PT's or wherever, near the TPE house, something like that. But I'm going to do something different on this trip when I'm going. I'm going to record the podcast from my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of half figured out how to do that, and then Andrew, my editor, confirmed that it was working, so I'll record from the phone, scoot it over to him, and then he'll put it out. So that'll be kind of neat.
I'm sorry, Steve. I'm looking at I see there's the 888 tournament starts Friday, July 1st. This is a bracelet event, $888 buy-in.
Huh.
$888,888 guaranteed for first place, and it's 8-handed. Okay. So there you go, man. That could be your one bracelet event you play.
Let's see, where are we at? Okay, I'm looking up the WSOP schedule. What day did you say that was?
Friday, July 1st. It starts. Two opening flights.
I would be open to that.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's there's 4 opening flights. 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, the 2nd. Damn it. I don't want to miss that one. That sounds pretty good.
That does sound like fun. I think
there's
I'm going to play that.
Also a tag team no limit hold'em.
I've done that.
I don't know if you can think of somebody who's going to be around in Vegas you might want to play with, but that could be fun.
How much is the tag team?
Only $1,000 per team. So if you get someone else to put in $500.
So we both put in $500.
Even do a 4-person team. So if you get 4 people, I'm going to put in $250.
I'd play with you or Carlos.
Right. Well, I'm not going to be there, but yeah.
Okay. Tag team. Oh, that's the 6th. Ooh, how many day event is that? 2 to 4 person teams.
3-day event. That'll end on Friday the 8th.
Well, I guess if I went the distance, I would just have to call it sick to work. No, sorry, I can't go to the final table after work.
No, yeah, that would be bad. So, Steve, regarding your podcast here, I have a couple observations.
Yes.
Barton podcast. First of all, I had tears of laughter coming down my face here when you were interviewing Anthony.
Good.
I mean, it's Steve. You have so much submerged anger towards me. You don't even realize. The episode begins where, Anthony, before we get going, you didn't even introduce the guy who he's talking to. He's like, there's a hand Mike was talking about that you disagreed strongly about. Tell me, please.
Yes, go on.
So he starts about the hand where I had pocket sevens and double barreled, on the nut worst flop.
Yeah.
It's like that. And then you're like, okay, so he did it wrong, yes? It's like, I don't think so. Like, I just want to make this clear. Mike didn't. So finally you get around to introducing Anthony and you guys do all your strategy and stuff. And I really, at the end of the episode, was like waiting for you to say, so is there anything else Mike has done that annoys you? How stupid is this guy? And then it's funny when you did the Ben Hales podcast, I listened to that too. And you're like, they're talking about, well, me and Mike, and I forget how it comes up. And you're like, believe it or not, he hasn't gone broke yet.
Yeah, on the Poker podcast, is that the one you're talking about?
It wasn't even you digging at me. You're like, believe it or not, yeah,
By some act of God, this hasn't happened.
Anyway, Steve, I think eventually you'll just get over that anger, though. But for now, it lashes out at occasionally here. Do you like to surprise your listeners by just do you give them a preview of who else you got coming up? Because obviously, after a superstar like Raymer, I'm curious. Maybe other people are who you might have. Well, now you got a long vacation coming up, so maybe you don't have any.
Yeah, no guests on the horizon. Well, I'll have my buddy Joe. He has absolutely no idea how to play poker, but he'll probably be on for a little bit.
You can have a whole episode with Jonah. He can talk about my. So tell me, is your father is your dad a failure as a father?
But yeah, I don't know who I'm going to have on. I'm sure once I get into Vegas, I'll record one with Mark and KB and those guys. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll meet somebody out at the WSOP and have them on and record one on the spot.
That's a good idea. Well, the other, I think the one that I was really proud of, I thought it was a good one, was the one we did film at the one we recorded at their house, where we just kind of put the microphone in the middle of the table and a bunch of people came in and we all bullshitted.
Episode 25, yeah, that was a good one.
Okay, well, you actually know which one it is. So yeah, that's I like that plan. Just go to Vegas and bring your equipment and then find. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to hanging out with the guys.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
That alone, like I said, I'll be disappointed if I don't have a few cashes and a good score.
Yeah. No, episode 27. That's the one it was. Episode 27. Right. 25 was. Episode 25 last year was just before we went to Vegas again, right around this time. We're on 77 now, Mike.
It's pretty impressive, Stevie.
It doesn't seem that long ago. Remember the first one we recorded? It was in, I think it was December or something of 14. I remember I was at my brother's house in Vegas.
I try to tell you, every episode I look back is it's just chronicling my emotional and mental lack of stability, my general ignorance and stupidity. I mean, there's nothing I'm proud of here, Steve, frankly. But it has nothing to do with you or the show. It's just, I should be, I should have had my voice box yanked out of my throat many years ago, and I'd avoid a lot of humiliation. But it's been fun, obviously. I'm trying to think what else in Vegas. The Russian girl I met last year that I went to Greece with is.
Oh yeah.
She's coming out there.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, she's coming out there for work, but
I'm sure
funny.
You guys will mix in a little play with business there.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, whatever. At this point, I'm like honest, and I pretty much told her after I got back from Greece that listen, I'm just I'm not going to fall in love with you, and it's just not She's like, well, I appreciate the honesty, and I don't want to waste my time talking to someone who. But fortunately for me, Steve, I'm such.
Oh, so maybe you won't be meeting up with her.
No. This is what I told her 6 months ago, and I didn't expect to, but she's contacted me. I'm going to be in Vegas. You're going to be there, so.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, but it's the next time you have Carlos on, you got to ask him his views on women.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you guys, Carlos was open about his having a vasectomy.
Yeah.
As you did, and not wanting to be a father and stuff. But he's got some funny stories, man. About like the closest he had to a girlfriend. I forget. Somehow it all ended when she wanted him to go to Taco Bell, and he only brought her one taco back rather than two. And he described, he's like, she was so ungrateful. I knew at that point that we would never have a relationship or something like that. Only Carla. But me and him and Doug were having an interesting explanation. I was being honest with, well, this one woman, I just, I can't fall in love with her, so nothing will come of it. And, well, I don't want to throw Doug under the bus here. I shouldn't even, but it was kind of funny. Me and Doug were pretty much, Carlos feels that poker should be number one, of course.
Okay. Or
whatever your dream is should be number one. To put a woman ahead of that is a sign of lack of character, almost. You know what I mean? I don't know the way he puts it, but I'm rambling here. But there's all sorts of that was a conversation you would have enjoyed, anyways. Me, Carlos, and Doug talking about women. I guess I can't just dangle that out there with going into details. But Doug was talking about his relationship, and Carlos, you could tell, was just euphoric with approval over Doug getting, maybe arranging his priorities in a different manner. I guess you kind of imagine what that is.
Yeah, I think it would be tough for a lot of girls to tough pill to swallow if their husband or boyfriend put cards before them.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone else, I love the movie Rounders, but like the one scene which I kind of cringe at still, I'm sure you know it, where Matt Damon misses the legal meeting and then he meets his girl, Gretchen Mol, in the bar, and on the way out, she's, well, why'd you lie to me about the poker? He's like, you wouldn't understand. Wouldn't understand what? It was like, well, the first time in a year I felt alive.
Yeah.
She's like, you just told me you felt alive at a poker table. What's that? I'm supposed to make me understand. And she walked away. But
yeah,
like every poker player kind of understands that. Like, you just can't take that away from us, can you?
Yeah.
I mean, that's sickness, isn't it? Let's be honest.
I don't know. I just love the game.
I guess you get the same rush from other things too, though, kind of.
Something I feel the same rush on is when I do this Amazon business and I sell stuff. And I get that same rush when I find, because there's a lot of these items that just sell, like, the minute they show up, boom, they're gone. Like those squatty potties I've been tweeting about, or a lot of these foam mattress toppers. People want those memory foam mattress toppers. They just sell, like, within a couple of days of getting there. But every now and then you find these items that are just, like, this random item. Like I found this box of 1,000, they're these little sample brushes to get like DNA. So like a crime lab would use them, to like swab the inside of someone's mouth, send it off to the lab, and then they get their DNA. Well, I found a box of these things. I got them at an auction for like $3. There's not anywhere that I found them online that they sell for less than $400. But it is extremely rare for someone to purchase these things, right? So I've got them sitting in Amazon. I'm paying a storage fee for them every month. But they're just sitting there, and I'm going to let them sit there for another couple of years and see if they ever get sold. Those ones, when they sell, I get that same kind of rush that I do from, like, winning a sit and go or a small tournament or something online.
Huh.
It's fun. It's neat. You find that one item that they may only sell 2 a year on Amazon because they're extremely rare, and not many people need these, these little DNA things, let alone 1,000 of them. But when they do sell, it's kind of neat,
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, so I do get it from that. Yeah, but still, there's no feeling like shipping a tournament. That making a real deep run, getting at the final table, kind of looking around is my competition. Like there's just no feeling like it.
Well,
for me, anyways.
Yeah, I agree. Or final table, at least deep run, and you see the tables, less tables. Well, bagging and unbagging chips is fun, of course, and you see the ticking clock, and you see the number of players remaining reducing all the time, and
yeah. You started with 2,200 people, and now you're down to a couple hundred, and you're like, wow, God, have we really been playing for like 18 hours?
This could happen.
Yeah. But, oh man, I can't wait. This is gonna be fun. You got me pumped. I think I'm gonna play that 888 one.
That looks like a natural for you, Steve.
You know, it kind of does. It bet sizing and everything, you know? I like that. Why raise to 900 when you can raise to 888?
Yeah, exactly. So, it, you know, it kind of fits in your price range, sort of.
Yeah. After that, maybe I'll do a couple of the deep stacks before that, kind of get warmed up, then play that one. And if I bagel that, then I'll just play deep stacks for the rest of the week. And if I hit something, then who knows? They got a couple of 1500s after that.
Yeah, like I said, you've got so much more money than me, so you could go out there and, like, you know, gamble it up a little bit with 15K, and it wouldn't drastically change your life. But you've got a different view of things, of course, so, which I respect.
Yeah, that's not really me. I just no, I got to stay within my bankroll, and but I will take shots once a year at the WSOP. That's the one time where I'll take, 20% of my roll and just go, all right. Once a year. Here we go.
Right.
I like it.
I'm looking at, still looking at the schedule here. Yeah, the other thing is, like, if I, bag for the first session of the Colossus, then I would have a couple days off. Maybe I will play a couple. I never really do the satellite. I've yet to do a satellite in Vegas. But maybe I should try to satellite into the main.
I played a few of those satellites. I never won one. I think I only played 2 or 3, and the closest I got was we got heads up, and then I lost. Carlos did a whole bunch of those, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that's his specialty. I don't know what if he did the Lammers for the 10K, probably smaller ones. Yeah. I'm guessing, the sit and goes into the 1K tournaments probably.
Yeah, the one I played, I think it was like a 125 or something, and then first got 2 Lammers. So first place got a grand or whatever, and you can chop it if you want, But,
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's kind of the sit and goes is a whole different skill set. But I would feel confident enough that I would be plus EV that I could take a shot at those things and not feel that I'm wasting money.
Yeah, I think at least the few that I played years ago, so this probably has no bearing now, but nobody knew the push-fold game, at all.
Right.
And that's your edge right there. So you're basically just kind of waiting to get down to 15 big blinds so you can start, pushing and folding, and, people just aren't calling right, and they're not shoving right. They're not calling nearly wide enough, and they're not shoving
right
as wide as they should. So they're just playing too.
Yeah, I would think when you get down to 4 or 5 handed there and the blinds get up, you really should be able to rape and.
Yes, rape and pillage, yes.
Let
God sort the rest of them out.
Get a chance to get in there, for sure.
Yeah, that could be something you do if you bag the Colossus, then just, play cash or play a bunch of those satellites.
So, Stevie, have you been grinding at all or not really?
No, not lately. I did 2 coaching sessions over the last week. And that's been my involvement in poker in the last week and a half. And the rest of it has been, I've been taking a promotional test at work. I've been studying for the last, I finally decided, okay, the promotional test was going to happen while my buddy Joe and I were on our vacation. So there was no decision. I'm like, well, I'm going to be gone. I don't have to take this. And anyhow, the chief, he ended up moving it up so that it was just before we're going to leave. I had the test a couple days ago. I thought, okay, I have no excuse not to take it. So for the last 2 weeks, I've just been studying, and I had the written test, and then I had the oral interview, and they have this simulation where they put a fire up on a TV screen, and then you have to walk them through using radio traffic how you would attack the fire and solve the problem and get the guy out of the burning building and like that. And I think I did pretty well. This is the 5th test I've taken, and I felt like this after one of them where I got 2nd out of 12. And I also felt like this when I got 10 out of 20. So, I don't know. I could have done really well, or maybe I didn't do as well as I thought I did, but it felt really good. I feel pretty confident, and I think that I've got a really good chance of getting promoted out of this one. I feel like I did the best that I absolutely could have done on that test with the information I had at the time. And, hindsight's always 20 and you look 20/20 and you look back and go, well, maybe I should have attacked the fire from this side of the building instead of that side. I mean, it's one of those, but, I think I did pretty well. So we'll see. I'll find out on Tuesday, what order I got on the list. And my buddy Joe also took it. So we'll find out how he did. But,
how big a bump in pay is it?
It's probably an extra, I don't know, $1,000 a month, something like that. It's not huge, but it's not insignificant either.
That's pretty meaningful.
Yeah, it's. I'm not doing it for the money. I could just sell more stuff on Amazon if I want to, really put money. But I'm looking for a challenge at work. I'm looking for, something new and different and kind of get me fired up about the fire service again because I've been doing the same job for 15 years. I need a change. It's I'm like a hermit that crawled inside a cave like 5 years ago and has never come out. Like I need to come out and actually look at the sunshine and do something different. But, yeah. So,
okay. Well, it sounds like you're excited about it. So gone are your plans of becoming a poker pro are put off there. I'm glad to think your positivity has changed me, Steve, here in a certain level. But I'm glad at least a little of my negativity has probably helped you too. Like when you were gonna talking about going to become a poker pro in Colombia, I was just like, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
You were having a Mike moment of mania there, where you could conquer the world, and I was,
Yeah, you kind of popped a couple of the helium balloons, which slowly dropped me back.
But no, I still think you probably could get that done if you wanted to.
I think I could if I wanted to as well. I just I'm having a lot of fun with this Amazon business, and I actually started. I'm teaching people to do parts of the business that to free up more time for me to kind of manage it.
Sure.
And my neighbor is now doing the bidding on the auctions. And Andrew and his girlfriend Julie, the editor of this podcast, he's doing. He's going to take over finding the items at the auctions, setting the amounts to bid on them. Then I'm going to give that paper to my neighbor, and he'll do the bids. And now I got a couple of kids who are volunteer, for lack of a better word, volunteer firefighters. They're explorers with the fire department that I'm going to teach. How to start processing the stuff. So when I go pick it up at the warehouse and then bring it back, there's a lot of cleaning and separating them and putting your own barcodes on, entering the stuff into the computer, boxing it up, and then shipping it off using UPS. There's a lot of that work. So now I need to build a team for that part of it. So I guess my point is this is a lot of fun to me, building this kind of little empire, and I can see how it's totally scalable. I mean, you can make this business model as big as you want because there's liquidation stores all throughout Southern California, and Amazon, I think, is probably one of the biggest companies in the world, maybe like second only to Walmart. I mean, there's really, they're going to start delivering shit from, 5 years from now when you order like a watch or something from Amazon, it's going to get delivered to your door by a drone, a little helicopter drone. This company's only getting bigger. I mean,
No, there's no ceiling here. I mean.
Exactly. There's no ceiling.
I guess, dealing with with other people other than yourself. I mean, finding reliable people would be the big challenge as you grow.
Yeah. You got to find guys that are trustworthy.
I know what Barton pays is the minimal possible. So you got to, you're going to have to convince these people that they're not being taken advantage of, which is difficult because they are being raped as we speak. No, I'm talking like an experienced businessman. I just think that would be the problem going. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of opportunities to make money. You just keep buying more stuff and processing more stuff.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, if you got to find good people who are willing to.
I thought a lot about that, and I think what we can do is have like a commission-based salary. So I have kind of a flat rate, that you make, and then depending on how sales are for the month, then you get a percentage of that. So if we bought $600 worth of stuff in a 2-week period, and we had $3,000 in sales, then there's $2,400 in profits, and do the math and percentage-wise from there.
Well, you ought to it's basically running a poker staking stable.
It kind of is, yeah.
Because, basically the poker player who's really good, all the profit comes in playing these $11, $15, $30 tournaments. There's only so many you can play. So you just get a bunch of people who can win at those and take a share of their money.
Yeah.
So you got to find a bunch of grinders here.
Yes.
Who, lack, who need some coaching, who lack, some discipline, some motivation, maybe some money to do it on their own.
Well, a lot of this is kind of, at least, how can I put it? It at least this business model that I've kind of mastered is kind of exclusive to Southern California and these auction sites that I have around me. I've kind of become an expert at figuring out which items I can get from these auction stores and sell them for a profit on Amazon. Now, if I were to move to Arizona and look at other auction houses, I would have to figure out the game for those ones, So it's kind of like learning these auction houses in this area.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it sounds like, I'm surprised that other people are not. I mean, do you run into the same people at the same places, who are rummaging through the same, high quality material? Or probably a few people doing the same thing you are.
There are, yeah. We're each kind of have our own little niche, like, some guys do it on eBay and some guys do it on Amazon, but they mail the stuff from their house. Other guys like me, they do, or I buy the stuff and then I ship it off to Amazon and they mail it. I do the Amazon Prime. So my customers are ones that want it in 2 days at their door. Amazon Prime guaranteed in 2 days. That's my whole thing. It's my customers want it now, and they're willing to pay more for it.
Let's say you buy $1,000 worth of stuff at these stores.
Okay.
And you can sell it for $5,000.
Okay.
So how much cost are there intermediate to sell it to Amazon, to send it to Amazon with other people? Basically, what is your own personal profit margin?
Generally speaking, if I bought $1,000 worth of stuff, it would, I'd spend $1,000. Amazon would probably take, I spent $1,000 for the items. Amazon would probably take $1,500 to $2,000. They take a lot. Okay. They take basically about a third of what it sells for. So if it's selling for $30, they take 10.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you got 5,000 in sales, and we'll take $1,500 off to Amazon.
Yes.
1,000 for what you paid for it.
Yeah.
So that's 2,500 left.
Now you have to pay for boxes, tape, shipping. Shipping's quite a bit. Like the shipment I just did today was 15 boxes, and that was 200 something bucks. Shipping, and then employees overhead. So as I get more employees, I'm going to be making less and less because they're going to be taking a cut of each week.
And hopefully you'll be, of course, spending, your hourly should go up, hopefully, but we don't know that.
Yeah. I right now, I'm just trying to teach individual parts of Amazon. Like, for example, my neighbor who's doing the auction bidding now, he's just specializing in that, and he's better at it now than I've ever been at it. So I'm hoping to kind of teach people very specific parts of this business so that they can become an expert in that one area and do it very, very well. And then everyone under the umbrella makes more because of that,
Well, I'm just still trying to just break down. Like, so is $10,000 a month? What's, like this podcast, you can see the progress, obviously, with the number of downloads. Do you have a magic number here? You want to have your first $20,000 a month or something? Do you just curious about your
best
goals?
Month was $8,000.
That's profit. That's profit. No,
profit,
that's sales.
Yeah.
That's profit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. My worst was $2,000. I'm averaging about $1,000 a week.
Okay, and you're just getting started. So by next year at this time, you're probably, what do you think your average month is going to be? 10 to 15K?
Man, I hope so. That'd be awesome. That would be cool. That would be cool. I'm at my max for me doing what I'm doing. I have to hire more people. That's all it boils down to. Is if it's going to grow, I've got to. And eventually I'll need a warehouse and, something where like the truck pulls up, stuff gets offloaded. It's almost like an assembly line. It just goes down a row of tables. They start breaking it down, entering it in, putting on barcodes, boxing it up, and at the other end, there's a UPS picking up the shipment.
Right. So for you to double your profits, you're probably going to have to quadruple your sales at least, because you're going to need other bodies here, and there's going to be new expenses that pop up and all that sort of thing.
Yep. But the beauty is, I mean, there's so many of these auction houses, it now just becomes like, how far do you want to drive? They're everywhere. Down in LA, I mean, they're all over the place. There's lots of them.
It sounds interesting here. There, like I said, there could be. You might have to quit the. You might be making so much money from this, you want to quit the fire department. But
you know, I've thought about that. I do love being a fireman. It is a lot of fun. If I get this captain spot, it may kind of put a spark back in me to want to do it more. But I am having so much more fun with this Amazon business right now than I am with the fire service. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm surprised at how fast it's grown, and you know, I don't have any intention of slowing down. So we'll see where it goes.
It's pretty badass, I got to say. I mean, you only have to put 20 years for being a fireman to get some sort of retirement, don't you? Or no?
Until you're 50 years old is when you can collect retirement. So if I leave early, I'm going to have to make up another, 12 or 13 years of. But if I'm doing well enough at Amazon, then.
No, but if you left now, would you still get a good retirement at age 50?
Not really. Let's see. How long have I been on? I've been on 15 years. So for every year of service, you get 3% of your salary. So 15 times 3 is 45%. I would get 45% of my base salary now when I turn 50. Well, so it wouldn't be that great, because after inflation of 12 years, and then I'm getting less than half of my monthly salary.
Are you vested into the health insurance and all that kind of stuff? To the
benefits? God, no! Our health insurance is it's terrible. No, we don't get anything for health insurance. At least not our department. Some departments do, like LA County. Oh my God, those guys are set. Beverly Hills, Montecito, those guys they have very, very good healthcare programs. My department, not so much. So I'm not vested there with that. As far as a benefits package, that really what's keeping me there would be my eventual pension when I turn 50.
Yeah, it sounds like the only thing I worry about is that somehow all these liquidation sales, like this is a historical anomaly somehow. I don't know.
Could be.
Pretty much everybody's going to be jumping on this, and the market could become saturated if somehow 20 other Amazon people are doing the same thing, but maybe not. I'm sure whatever it is that you need to succeed, you're going to be doing it more efficiently and competently than the next guy anyways.
That's the game.
Even if the next guy saw these squatter potties, it's not simply pick them up at the warehouse and sell them. There's a lot of other shit to do there, obviously. So
yeah. My neighbor and his dad were asking about that because he just retired, and he's like, I'm going to need another $1,000 or $2,000 a month. This retire, it's not going to not as much as I thought it would be. And he saw what I was doing with the Amazon business, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, here's a niche that you can do that I just don't have the time to do. Is they sell pallets of those little K-cup coffees down at one of these liquidation stores.
Okay.
Like what you could do is go buy a pallet of that stuff. You could probably get your cost per box down to just a couple dollars, and then you can sell them on eBay for $10 a box, and people aren't going to buy 24 at a time. They're going to buy 72 or 100, and boom, right there. You can be making a lot just on that. That's your $1,000 or $2,000 a month right there. So he went down and looked at the K-cup coffees. He's like, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. You're right. So that'd be a neat little niche. I would do it, but the thing is with eBay, you have to be home all the time, which he is, and I'm not. You have to be home every day. Like when orders come in, you got to mail the box that day, and with Amazon, I just ship the stuff off, and now, I don't have to do anything. They do it for me.
So it sounds like I guess there's a lot. I'm an Amazon Prime. And I do like the stuff you can get right away, and people who are hooked directly, with the Amazon Prime, no shipping costs, that kind of thing. So there's obviously great benefits into sending your stuff to the Amazon warehouse, but there's cost to that too. Have you looked at all that?
Yeah, it's definitely more expensive. Like I said, they take a third basically of whatever you sell. and there's shelf storage fees as well. It's 61 cents per cubic foot to store something. So if you get something big, and it's going to cost a lot to ship, but this thing better sell quick, or you're going to be paying storage fees that add up fast. So ideally, the best things to get, I just got into watches. So you can get a small watch. It costs nothing to ship. I ship 5 of them in a box. It costs like $5. And but each of these watches, some of them sell for several $100s, and you can get them for $50 or $60. And you can make a nice profit on something very light.
So does Amazon do any of the help of taking photographs of the item and that stuff like that? No, that stuff you download on your own?
I only attach the stuff that I sell to existing listings.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So I don't take pictures and post like you would on eBay or something. I just attach them to specific listings. Now, The handicap of that is this week we got a bunch of those. They're like helmet liners, you see the guys with the yellow construction plastic helmets. Well, the liner that goes inside of that so they can adjust it to fit their specific head. I got a box of 20 of those for like $3 or $4. Well, the listing on Amazon is so bad, it has a picture of a helmet, but not the actual helmet liner. And, because the listing is so bad, nobody ever finds it and nobody purchases anything from it. So if I mail these 20 things into an Amazon warehouse, they're just going to sit on the shelf for the next 4 years. They're going to cost me an arm and a leg. But another helmet liner, just like it, had a great listing. But it didn't have the same barcode. It didn't have the same SKU. It's not the same manufacturing company. So, there is a degree of kind of luck of hopefully there's a good listing there for it to be able to sell.
Well, even with all the problems here, obviously, if you already had an $8,000 month, you've already got all you need to know. There's money to be made here. You just got to stay on top of it, and that's interesting. So is there a place where's your favorite liquidation store so far? Or there's one right near you?
Yeah, there's a couple near me. There's one in Ventura and then one in Camarillo, which is basically one is about 10 miles one way and the other one's about 10 or 12 miles the other way. So they're I kind of like them. Actually, I like the one in Camarillo better because they're more organized. They have stacked shelving for pallets, that just go down for rows and rows, and then they're very organized. You show up, you tell them your bidder number, they've got all your stuff in a cart within 5 minutes, and then you walk out the door, load your truck. The other place in Ventura, Mars, that's the name of it, is Mars. It's extremely disorganized. It's got to be very stressful to work there because stuff is just thrown everywhere. I mean, it looks like, have you seen Hoarders, that show Hoarders?
No.
Okay, well, basically, if you can picture your grandma that never ever threw anything away, and there's just walkways through her house, right. That's kind of like what this giant warehouse is like. So you bid on stuff online, and you go in there and tell them your number, and it takes them forever to find the stuff because it's so disorganized. Right. But so I like the one in Camarillo better. But
I think I've told you my default plan, not really my plan, what am I going to do if I win $500,000 is to open a used bookstore.
Yeah.
I think I've talked about that. But even that, it would only take about 10% of the organization that it takes you to do the Amazon thing, and it might still be way too much for me to handle. I'm sad to say. I mean, just in terms of knowing, just in terms of renting the space and know you're getting the right store space. And you're signing a good lease. My father's a businessman, so I would get his help.
Is he?
Well, he was. He had a wooden toy store when I was growing up.
Oh, cool.
He was a theater professor, but he really liked building construction sets and all that kind of stuff. And he built all sorts of stuff. So he had a wooden toy store. But anyways, I read a book on how to open a used bookstore and a lot of stuff, like how to get the books. Obviously, you want to hopefully pay almost nothing for all the books.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will donate because everyone, the average local library, people just dump boxes and boxes of books there all the time. So you want to kind of make connections where people are giving you books, so you're paying super cheap. Basically all these Stephen King books and stuff that people paid $15 for, there's such an extra load of them. Somewhere there's a place in this country where you could buy 5,000 books for $1,000 kind of thing. $1,000 is probably as much as you could spend to fill up a bookstore if you did it properly.
Yeah.
But beyond that, just keeping the business going and the advertising and doing whatever that needs to be done. And you have to be internet savvy too, pretty much, to run these used bookstores these days. You got to have Yeah, you got to get an Amazon thing hooked up, and you got to get an eBay thing hooked up because you need. A lot of people just don't go to bookstores as much. You need to have some competence in that. So.
Yeah.
So basically, Steve, the plan will be when I'll be like, "Hey, Steve, come on down, poker tournament. Let's hang out. Have some champagne." You're going to come down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to taser you, handcuff you, drag you to my new office space, and you're not allowed to leave until you've got my Amazon business stuff. I can't remember. You're not a Breaking Bad fan. You didn't see that show.
I haven't seen that one. No.
Well, at the end of the season, the one guy, meth cook, he's captured by this group of this Nazi gang, this white supremacist gang, and they put chains on him in this meth lab, and he's forced to cook meth. There's no way to escape.
That'll be me.
I'm picturing somebody. Well, or you.
I'll be locked to your what are those old school water heaters that have the water that runs through the radiator on the wall? I'll be chained to that. The other hand is on the keyboard trying to set up an Amazon account for you.
You could do it. You could take my inspiration here. There's going to be a couple poor fat Mexican teenagers, in your basement.
Oh, damn.
I don't know, Steve. Yeah, you inspire me with this stuff, though. I'm like, geez, there can't be. Regardless of our economic problems, this is still the land of opportunity for those who are willing to, show a little.
It is. You just got to work for it. So who the heck was talking? I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about luck and how successful people. Obama said that successful and rich people, they never say how lucky they are. It's like, well, I think they work for it. They're guys that are working on Saturdays and Sundays, and they don't take days off, and they didn't get there because they're lucky. I mean, maybe every now and then everyone gets lucky,
right.
But
they make their own beef jerky.
It's damn skippy.
They steal gasoline from their neighbors' cars.
It's not my fault if they leave the tank open.
Yes, that exactly.
Well, I got a poker hand. This kind of is a poker podcast. Do you want to go over a little strat?
I could try not to humiliate myself.
Oh well, I think butchered this one pretty good. So
sweet.
I think you're safe.
I can't mock Steve Barton, the businessman, who's so astute and competent, but Steve Barton, the poker player, can howls of laughter from me here. So let's go.
Okay. All right. We've got Ace King. We're under the gun. Ace King offsuit. Blind levels are 125, 250. Total pot is 575 with the antes. So we're under the gun with a 19K stack. We've got 76 big blinds.
Okay.
Our M is 33. We just got oodles of chips. Looking around the table, we're the biggest stack. The next biggest stack would be... actually, we're even with another guy. He also has 76 big blinds on the button. But
what's the buy-in for this tournament?
It says 5K guaranteed, 10K chips. So I'm guessing 30 plus.
This is Bovada?
This is Bovada, yeah.
Okay. It's not really that important. Go ahead.
Okay, so we got Ace King under the gun. We raised to our patented 777. So 3X under the gun. We get a call from under the gun +1, and then it folds around to it folds around to us. So we go heads up to the flop.
Just quickly, your bet sizing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. You like to do like 3X from under the gun and say 2.1, 2.2 from the button and kind of in between as you go along. Is that sort of your...
Yeah. Tell me what you think of that.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion too strong one way or the other.
Did you hear the Greg Rammer episode from last week?
I listened to just the part where before you get to strategy, actually. I didn't get to that.
Okay. He talks about this exact concept.
Okay.
And I told him what you just said right now is I like to raise 3x under the gun and then kind of make it around to 2.2 or 2.1 on the button. And then from the small blind, then I bump it back up to 3x. I said I do that as a default no matter what my hand is. And he's like, you might want to reverse that. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, raise it to 2.2 under the gun and then raise it closer to 3 on the button and kind of, have a sliding graph in between. And I'm like, well, why would you do that? And he said, well, your nutted hands are, going to be in earlier position, and you don't mind if people call as much, when you've got aces, kings, and queens, and you've got nutted hands. And he said, in later position, you're going to have a lot more crap. He said, what's your range on the button? I said, 50%. And he's like, yeah, so you'd rather have him fold. And my logic was always that, well, I think I would rather have him call when I'm in late position, even when my hand's not that good, just because I've got position. But I don't know. I figure I'm going to go out this WSOP and I'm going to try what he says and try raising less under the gun and more towards the button. And, I figured the guy won the World Series of Poker and charges $600 an hour for coaching. He probably knows what he's talking about, but I don't know.
Yeah, he's smarter than you and I for sure. I usually have the same set. Like when I'm multi-tabling, it's just min-raise everywhere because I don't have time to type things in. My old hands can't move fast enough. And then when I'm down to 2 or 3 tables, it's probably going to be like 2.3x regardless of position. Although from the button, I do often raise more with the weaker hands there, especially if they got 20 bigs. It's like, make it clear to them. So yeah, the 3x I'd be more likely to do, like Raymer said, from the button than I would be from under the gun.
Okay.
But anyways, you 3x this one.
Okay, yeah, I 3x this one under the gun with ace king off suit. I've got 76 big blinds. Villain here has 32 big blinds. And he's one position after me, UTG +1. We're the only 2 in the hand.
What do we think about what is the villain's stats here? Do we have anything on him?
Yeah, after 29 hands, he's a 21-10, 3-bet 9%. So not a huge sample, but it does, seem like he's, got pretty solid numbers, 21-10.
Yeah, a lot of people like, if that was a large number of hands, people would say he's playing too many hands pre-flop passively.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we can, over such a hand sample, I don't know if we could extrapolate any information from that. But like the under the one gun, one hand, I don't know if that caps his range or not. But yeah, he might be calling a little. He might be calling a few hands that a lot of players would just dump there.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't really want to even range him now. But if we want to just throw something out there that.
Yeah, no, that's good.
A lot of players would probably just dump ace jack off there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. But at 21-10,
suited, there's going to be a lot of hands, especially with all those players to act, that are going to dump some hands. Maybe this villain wouldn't, but I guess, like I said, the stats are so few. I don't know if we should really read into that at all.
Well, I think it definitely does say something. Like, okay, here's another guy on the table. He folded, but after 49 hands, he's a 27-0. So that says one thing, and another guy here is 18-10, and then another guy 24-4. So it 21-10 is kind of a tight guy. Probably if he's playing 21% of his hands, though, and he's only raising 10%, then, I would say he's calling too much or he's not raising enough.
A lot of people say that is that would be someone with a huge leak in their game where they're just taking flops and playing hands passively where they should be 3-betting or, taking charge of hands.
Exactly.
But it's always hard to say. But again, like I've looked down at my Bovada stats and through 40 hands, I've been like a 6-3-0.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I win one good pot and then it's early stages on that. So it's, anything less than 50 hands but again, it is some information. It's not a lot, but you can't ignore it. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we see a flop. How many chips are in the pot right now at this point?
Okay, so we see a flop. There's 2129 in the pot, 2,129. We have 18K in our stack. Villain has 7,200.
Okay.
So effective stacks are 7,200, and the flop is ace of spades, 6 of hearts, 3 of spades. So ace, 6, 3, 2 spades. We don't have a spade. So we hit top pair, top kicker on a pretty innocuous board. I would say, at least for.
Right. We should be ahead 9 out of 10 times here.
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, I suppose Villain with numbers like that, maybe he could call with pocket threes. Although I think that might be kind of pushing it. Definitely pocket sixes are in his range. Pocket aces, we block that pretty hard.
Right.
And, I don't know if he would have like ace 3 or ace 6. Maybe if they were suited, he might call. Would a 21-10 call that under the gun +1? Maybe?
Yeah, it's possible.
I think it would be more likely that he would have like ace 10 suited or ace jack suited or offsuit. Something like that, I think, would probably be more likely.
Right. I mean, and then personally, like, obviously, like later stages, UTG in terms of, under the gun opener, when I'm flatting with there's going to be very few hands I'm flatting with.
Yeah.
But, when there's, the stacks are deeper, you don't have to worry about people shoving as much. People are probably not going to be as squeezy, as aggressive with their squeezes. So, this guy can flat some hands there. It would not be horrible, or as horrible as it would be in certain other circumstances.
Yeah. And then I would say he's got, suited broadways in his hands. He's probably not calling there with things like king jack offsuit or anything. If he's got some broadways, they're probably suited.
Right. That would make sense to me.
Yeah,
king queen off, perhaps, but yeah.
Probably just about all pairs, maybe. I don't know if he would call any pair there would be 2s or 3s, but I would say just about any pair, I would think. Probably where he's at. So, what do we do? Effective stacks are 7,200. There's 2,100 in the middle. Are you checking this? You betting it? What are you thinking?
Let's get our C-bet on, right? We're hoping he's got a crummy race.
Yeah, okay. I'm in the same boat, and I figured I'd raise pre-flop. I would bet almost always here, having raised into a single thing, and that logic. I don't know why. This is probably why I picked the hand, but I check it. So I like a C bet on here. I think it'd be good, but for whatever reason,
the idea of balance is you can't C bet this every time.
Yeah,
because you need some strength in your checking hands here.
Yeah.
I don't think it's terrible.
Okay. All right. I check. He bets 860 into 2,100. And we have a raising here, just calling?
You could raise. I guess if you shove, he should be. You never know what kind of villain we have. This is Bovada. They can call the worst sometimes. This guy only started the hand with 30-something bigs?
32 bigs, yeah.
I guess on a pretty dry board, just flat and just then let him. I would be kind of internally pretty much committed to this hand.
Yeah.
Regardless of the run out. So I just might be in check call mode and let him, if for some reason he's got a monster, okay, we're gonna pay him off. But you want him to also have some bluffs in his range.
Yeah.
So if we just call here, then he's certainly capable of blasting away on the turn and river.
Okay. Yeah, I call. I figure by calling here, I'll keep all his bluffs in, his pocket 10s, his pocket 8s, pocket 7s, basically any pair higher than that, all his flush draws.
Precisely, yeah.
So I call. The pot now is 3849. Effective stacks are 6,300. So stack to pot ratio is less than 2, and the turn is an offsuit 8. So the board now is ace, 6, 3, 8. We still have 2 spades, and then we got heart and a diamond. We have no spades. The ace, king off. What are you thinking here? Check again or bet or?
Yeah, that card should not change things too much. So I would just check and let the villain blast again, maybe.
Okay, all right. That's what I was thinking. I check, and he complies. He bets 1766 into a pot of 3850. So now that leaves him 4,500 behind. There's 56 in the pot now. What do you think here? Do we call? If we call here, do we have to check every river, or do we bet every river, or what do you think?
I would probably call here and just check him on the river.
Okay. That's what I do. I call. I thought about clicking it back, but at that point I might as well be putting him all in because he's only got 4,500 behind. But I wasn't sure what the move was there. But I do the same. I call. And then the river's an offsuit king, so let's
pause for a second and start
okay.
and try to think what the villain might have here.
Okay.
I don't know. He would be. What would he do with ace queen, ace jack after you call the flop? Would he bet the turn?
I think if I check call the flop, then I check the turn. I think he'd be betting ace queen, ace jack.
You could have you could have tens, jacks, queens. You know what I mean? Where you're just calling one street, seeing where the villain's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. If you didn't have an ace, you might still call the flop just because you don't think the villain has an ace, or you want to see if they do.
Yeah.
So, I just don't know if just with him double barreling, if we can now say there's more bluffs in his range than value hands. I don't think we really have enough information to determine that. I'm just bringing it up there. We should be.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll have we should have a better idea of where he's at, but when what happens on the river here. But
I think all Broadway spades are in his range. That would make sense if he bet flop, bet turn, with like king queen of spades or something. And we don't have a spade, so we don't block any of those.
Okay.
What else would make sense? 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, I don't think he's calling there. I don't think he's calling that raise with 32 big blinds with 4 or 5 suited for an open ender. I doubt, right?
Right.
But now a hand like that he bet once and then bet again, like pocket 9s or pocket 10s would kind of make sense. You think he's turning his hand into a bluff? No?
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you certainly don't have to have an ace right now, is all I was trying to get the point out. So yeah, there is merit to him throwing a second barrel out if he's bluffing here.
Yeah. But
a lot of these, just when you check the flop, a lot of his pairs, he's going to be checking back behind you.
Yeah.
Any pair deuces through kings. Other than the set, well, even the sets, you'd think he would check a lot if you had a set of 8s or set of 6s. Basically, I don't have the answer to any of these questions, Steve. I'm just. But on the turn, I think the check call is probably best. Although, if you had some history with the villain, game flow wise, where you would push him off a hand and show him a bluff or something like that, I'd be tempted to check shove the turn because he might, spike call you with a crappy ace or something.
With a shitty ace, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, because if he bets the river here, it's almost it's always got to be 2 pair or better. I mean, it would be a very polarized river bet, I think. But so you call the turn.
I called the turn. Yeah, there's now 73.81, and the effective stacks are 4,500. And the river, we spike 2 pair. We spike a king. So the board now is ace, 6-3 on the flop. The turn was an offsuit 8, and the river was a king, and we got ace-king.
Ace-king, 8-6-3.
Ace-king, 8-6-3, yeah. Spades did not get there.
Spades did not get there.
7,300 in the pot, and effective stacks at 4,500.
I mean, I'd have, like I said, he's going to be checking back every ace now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm tempted to throw a little bet in there, just to hopefully get paid. Or if he was bluffing, to make him kind of freak out and spaz out and shove on you. Like I said, my original notion was that we should be just checking the river and hoping he blasts again. But yeah, I don't know. What did you decide to do?
See, I was kind of torn here because at the time I was hoping he had something like ace jack or ace queen, and he's going to get a little more value here on the river. But I think he might be checking back ace jack there. He's definitely checking back any. I think he's only betting here like as a total bluff if he had something like queen jack of spades and he whiffed here. I think he could bluff that. I think he's only betting like 2 pair or better,
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Ace-king is a bluff catcher on the river.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, occasionally we've got the same hand. And occasionally, the guy just thinks, oh, he's got a weak ace. I have to bet the ace-queen here. But, like, his ace-queen should almost always be checking back on the river.
Well, I think he's firing. I think he's shoving with like 2 pair, like ace-8, ace-6, ace-3.
Yeah, I probably would if I were him.
And like you said, a big ace, like ace-queen or something. So we beat those. We're not completely bluff catching, but there are a lot more hands that he could have us beat with, like the sets and stuff.
I agree.
But yeah, okay. I was kind of thinking the same thing, though. I was thinking maybe like there's 7,300 in the pot. He's got 45 behind. Some like little small bet of like, I don't know, like 1,500 or something. It's just like a little bit of value town.
And if he shoves?
Oh, then we have to call.
Right.
We got 15K in our stack. He's only got 45, and there's 73 in the pot right now. I mean, the odds would just be insane.
Like I said, there's just not enough information on this villain to know how he's going to respond. If he's capable of the 3-barrel shove here.
Yeah.
The bluff shove on the river.
Yeah.
Because if we think he's only betting his premiums and his crap on the river, then and if we think there's a lot of medium strength hands, then that would be the reason for value betting.
Yeah.
Because we think we're getting, we're getting paid enough to make it valuable. But so far we've gotten this guy to put in a lot of chips in just by checking.
Yeah.
So maybe just stick to what's been working and just check on the river and hope he blasts it in with the second best pair.
Okay. Yeah, I check. He checks behind. We win, and we don't get to see his cards. I don't know why, but I got the show opponent known cards on there, and nothing came up. So I don't know what he had. I don't know.
Huh. Well, that's okay. We'll take that pot.
Yeah. I just felt like somewhere towards the end of it, like maybe I should have like check raised the turn or bet the river or something. I don't know. Maybe he just had pocket sevens the whole time and I was never getting another nickel out of him. I don't know.
That'd be my suspicion.
Yeah.
You're also, that's a situation that comes up again and again. When your ace king hits 1 pair, when you're deep, 100 big blinds plus.
Yeah.
You don't really want to get that many chips in.
True.
You know what I mean? That spot seems to, like, from the beginning here, I'm like, well, I'm never folding to this guy.
Yeah.
But we're kind of conveniently in a position where we can double this guy up and still be, second in chips at the table.
Yeah.
It's always it's always hard to know how, but So I'm saying like checking more, especially out of position, with C-bets is not horrible for several reasons, I think.
Okay. All right. Okay, maybe it wasn't that bad then. I just felt like I could have got a little more value, but you never know.
Do you have another hand, Stevie, or should we call it a night here?
Well, let's call it a night. I got to give the wifey a call. I got to work tomorrow. She drove her to the airport today, and then she flew back to Dallas. She was here for a couple of days. And
okay, man. Well, if you want to talk to me sometime next week after my first tournament or two, obviously, I'm always happy to.
Okay, it'll be over Skype. It'll be I'll be down at Panama, but keep me. I should have internet, so keep us updated on Twitter and everything.
Okay, man. That's the plan. Have a great night.
Okay, you too.
See you, man.
And thank you for tuning in. You can check out our website, HeadsUpPoker.Poker. We've got a link in there under COT, the Circle of Trust. You can click on that and then click on Mike Sneideman. It'll take you straight to his webpage. Thank you for tuning in, and here is your weekly motivational speech.
If you want to live extraordinary, you must do extraordinary. But you must demand it. If you wish it, you must demand it of yourself.
We all have problems. What I'm trying to tell you is this, though. Don't be consumed with them. Problems are a part of life. But guess what? They're not life.
Inside of every single problem that might be causing you to worry and creating stress for you is a gorgeous opportunity to build an even better business or build an even better life or install a better belief.
So the secret to real happiness is progress. Progress equals happiness. And if we can make progress on a regular basis, we feel alive. So if you want to make real progress, then you really got to look at your life in a different way. You got to say, I got to take control of this process and not just hope it's going to work out.
You got to keep picking yourself up and reaching for it.
You can get through this. You will get through this. You must get through it. You are going to get through this.
You need to get outside your comfort zone. It's not about taking risks. It's about getting outside your comfort zone.
When did you define yourself? I mean, really, how many years ago did you come up with what you could and couldn't do in your life? How many years ago? So often in our lives, we've adapted to be a certain way so that we don't fail or so that people will like us or respect us, but it's not necessarily who we are.